Good morning, boys and girls. Today, for Bible, we will read a story called Obedience by Jane Berger, illustrated by Helen Endres. So, today we're going to learn all about what obedience might look like. What is obedience? When mom or dad says no to a TV program, obeying is turning off the set cheerfully. Now, when you obey and your mom and dad tell you to turn off the TV, do you do it with an angry heart or a happy heart? You do it with a happy heart. That is part of being obedient. When you go to the amusement park with a friend and your parents tell you, do not go on the roller coaster, obeying is not going, even though mom and dad would never know. When dad says Chips is not to stay in the house at night, Chips is this dog here, obeying is not slipping him inside. So to obey is to follow what your parents or what your authorities say. Obeying could be listening to what God tells you to do and doing it exactly as He tells you to do it with a happy heart. Obeying is also following what your parents or your teachers say with a happy heart. So here, I believe the little boy is disobeying. His parents told him not to let their dog Chips inside the house, and he looks like he's sneaking him in. And a lot of times there are bad consequences for disobedience. When mom says, drink your milk, and she's called to the phone, obeying is not feeding the milk to Tabby. Is he obeying? He isn't in this picture. How could he obey here? By drinking his milk while his mom is on the phone. When you're on a vacation trip and your parents ask you to ride quietly for a while, obeying is looking at a picture book or coloring a picture, doing something quietly. Is he obeying his parents by doing as they say? He is. He's quietly reading a book. I think I skipped a page. Making your bed could be obeying, and hanging up your clothes just as mother asked you to do is obeying. He's obeying very well in these pictures. He's cleaning up his room and making his bed just like his mom and dad said. When the teacher says line up behind each other to go home, obeying is not running to the front, but going to the end of the line. So when you obey your authority, that means teachers or your parents or God, that means that you can also be kind to others that way. If you're going to the back of the line, just like the teacher says, then everybody is happy. But if you cut to the front of the line, is everybody going to be happy about that? No, so it is a kind thing to be obedient. When you're at a red light and you see your best friend across the street and he's hurrying away, obeying is waiting for the light to turn green. So we've played the game red light, green light. In real life, when you go to take a drive, there's a street light that could have red, green, and yellow on it. The red means to stop, the green means go, and the yellow means to slow down. When you walk, you'll usually get a walk symbol of a little man walking across the crosswalk. Obeying is following and only walking across when the little orange man is lit up. Okay, and when you obey, you're also protecting yourself. Because what could happen if you walk across the street when the sign says not to? You could get hit by a car, and that is not safe. So we obey to be kind to others. We obey to be safe. So those are two good reasons to be obedient. Let's flip to the next page. When your parents leave you with a babysitter and tell you to go to bed at 8 o'clock, obeying is not begging to stay up later. Obeying is staying inside as mother asked you to do when everyone else is outside building a snowman. Obeying is following your teacher's rules when she's sick and you have a substitute. Remember when Mrs. Poole comes in? You should still obey the class rules even when Mrs. Poole or another teacher comes in, because that is a good way to show kindness not only to your teacher but also to your substitute teacher. When you see a sign on the grass that reads "Keep off," and you could sneak across to get your ball, but you walk around instead, that's obeying. So if he walks around, he's not breaking the rules, and he won't get in trouble for walking on this lawn. Also, there's a reason why he should keep off of the lawn, because they're trying to let this grass grow, I'm sure. And sometimes when you walk on certain lawns, you could kill baby seeds that were just put in there. So there's a good reason to obey here. When you wait for the crossing guard to tell you to cross the street, that's obedience. Can you think of other ways to be obedient? There are many, many ways to be obedient. And as I was saying, there are good reasons to be obedient, but ultimately, God wants you to be obedient. We will continue to talk about obedience on Friday. I have a whole Bible lesson that is all about obedience. Now, sometimes being obedient seems like it might not be fun, but obedience is always the right thing to do. And as a Christian and as a child of God, our job is to do as God says and to follow His word. That way, things will turn out much better than we could have ever imagined, okay? So, think very carefully about what you do today. Work very hard to be obedient to your parents, to babysitters, to friends, and to God. Okay, because God ultimately is your authority, and He wants what's best for you, and so do your parents. We talked about obedience helping you to be safe, and obedience helping you to be kind to others. And if you're kind to others, you can make friends. That is the best way to make friends. So, I'll talk to you later.